Welcome to Random Select. Please enjoy.
Hey, what's going on, everyone? This is Mario, and I would like to welcome you into another episode of Random Select. And in this particular episode, we're going to bring some exposure to Carlota and her blogs and to the website. And we're just going to call this podcast all about blog talk, however you want to refer to it. And we're just going to ask her to go into detail and elaborate on some of her blogs. So some of them are very interesting and intricate and detailed and personal and thought provoking and brings out emotions in you. So what we're going to do is get right into it and get a little deeper, and for you guys that haven't had a chance to read the blogs, this gives you a good introduction into trying to get into them. And we're going to start it off and ask her, Carlotta, what is some of your inspiration for writing these blogs?
Well, I started off writing them from my personal experience because that's the place I could go to really get the true information instead of trying to research, just writing from my heart.
Okay, well, that's always a good place to start to write from. So we're going to get right into it. I want to ask you, give me one of your blogs that you like and give me a little excerpt from it and tell me what you meant, and what the excerpt was about.
Well, the first example would be, do you really want to know why I cheat? And that one I just put out a few
Yeah.
days ago.
And when you say, do you really want to know why I cheat? This is coming from a man's perspective, correct?
Right. I find that women, we always seem to think that it must be something better on the other side, why men cheat. And I've had experience with cheating. And after the anger, I really decided to sit down with him and for him to explain to me, why did you cheat? I need to understand it. And when he explained it, it let me see it from a whole different side. And so that was just him talking through me, along with other guys, other male friends that have told me why they cheated. And that's all put together in this one blog.
All right, let's get right into an excerpt. Read this portion of it and tell me a little bit about it.
Well, I picked a section. It says, I cheat because of the rush, the high, the fact that I can. I don't love them, but for the moment, I am infatuated with the idea of new. I love the fact that I can control how she sees me. I control the illusion. I can portray myself any way I choose, and she's into me, hoping that I will stick around. She's not better than you. I really don't care if she is, as long as she is down for whatever. I figure my heart is with you. So what if I have sex with her? I don't love her. I cheat because in that moment I feel alive again, like a kid with a new toy. Unpredictable encounters and a chick willing to do whatever. It is just sex. I don't see the big deal. It gets boring doing the same things over and over and dealing with the same issues. See, the other woman does not know my fault because we are new. I don't have to listen to her complaining to me about negative stuff. No reality here, just fantasy. I might be at fault, but I don't want to hear about it. To make it easier for me to go see her and not feel guilty, I pick arguments with you.
Wow, that's very powerful. That's deep in a sense that it kind of sums up, it's a lot of different reasons why men cheat, but this does a really good job of putting it all in perspective as if you were really talking to the guy. So how were you able to dig into that?
As I said, bits and pieces from my past, the reply from my past, the person that cheated, and my friends. And I realized that a lot of guys, which I'm not a professional in why they cheat, but from what I've realized from listening and my experience, they don't want to be dealing with the issues that are going on because relationship come with issues, and you have to work at a relationship. You have to put work in for it to be successful. And I think a lot of times guys get mentally lazy. They don't want to be bothered. And then when the woman seems like she's nagging, they can't see that it's not really nagging. There's a problem, and she's trying to tell you, but all they hear is nag, nag, nag. And so it's so much easier to go somewhere else. And it's new. That woman knows nothing about you, doesn't know your faults. And so it's refreshing to deal with someone new because you could portray yourself any way you want. And that's the rush they get. And of course, the icing on the cake is the sex.
Okay, well, just for the record, to be perfectly honest to you and in fairness to you, there's no professional person out here who's a professional at why someone cheats. Everybody has their own individual reason for it. So whatever philosophy or reason you give is just as good as anybody who has a master's degree or a PhD. There's no professional at that. All
They're
right,
private.
let's yeah, I know. Let's jump into another one that you wrote, another blog. This will fix us.
Mhm.
Okay, now what's the premise about this blog? What is it about?
I saw a picture, father kissing the son on the forehead and the son kissing his son all in the same picture. And I just found it fascinating because in the black community is so much more households with not three generations of men around, much less to see them interact and show emotions, because that's one of the biggies right there, where even if your father is around, a lot of black men are not affectionate. They feel to teach you to be a man, I have to be tough with you and not show emotions. And I just felt that picture was beautiful. So I decided to write about it. And I'm sure a lot of people feel it, but a lot of black men might feel that it looked very not right because they were all kissing. But it's fathers kissing son, and son kissing his son. And
Okay, let wait a minute. Let's just put it out there. You're saying that you think that most guys, some guys will look at it and say it's a homophobic looking picture.
right, and I don't see anything wrong with it. They're just being affectionate. If it was three, if it was grandpa, white son, and white grandson, nobody would think it looked, a certain way. But it's not the norm, I guess, in black society. So it looks weird.
Okay, well, let's get right into an excerpt from it. You can explain what you were trying to say in it.
Part I chose was there are wonderful fathers out there doing their jobs well, but there are a lot of missing fathers out there too. You can run away, stay far away, stay but emotionally shut down and unavailable. You are still considered missing. Boys are expected to shut down emotionally and just be an emotional robot until you grow up. No crying, no whining, no complaining. Shut down, shut up, and function. How is a boy dealing with missing a father that is not there? Shut up. How is he dealing with the pain of why he's not as special as the boy down the street whose dad stuck around? Shut up and function. Yes, they cry, but you don't see it. The beginning of conditioning them to shut down their emotions. Yes, you and your parents may tell him and show him that he's loved, but do you only need food every other weekend when you see grandpa? That boy needs consistency with love from a father or a male who will show affection and guidance. Life therapist to help guide him through everyday obstacles. This man is training him to become a man. What he sees that man do will cross over into what he does when he grows up. We mimic what we are exposed to as children. Some people eventually find their own style and routine, what their parents did. Watching dad with mom prepares that boy for how he will treat his future woman. Having dad provide will train a boy to accept that as the norm. Making family priority will make him see this as the norm. Treating mom with love and respect will make him see this as the norm. Watching mom and dad get upset with each other, but later they are happy together again, becomes the norm. Knowing dad took the easy way out and seeing a lot of your friends' dad doing the same becomes the norm.
Well, as a guy that went through this, whose father wasn't there, yeah, you tend to mimic what you see, and what you don't see, you can't mimic. You know what I mean? If your father's there and showing a loving household, then yeah, you tend to be that type of man who shows compassion and kind of a little bit more forthcoming with your emotions. But if your father's not there and you don't know what it's like to hold a woman's hand, to play with her or to hug her, it tends to make you a little bit, emotionally withdrawn and, as people like to say, emotionally unavailable. Is that what you were kind of trying to get at in this blog?
Yes. And I was saying, I based the picture on the fact that if we had more of that picture, of more of that family structure in the Black community, we would have a lot less issues going on, because the streets are raising a lot of these boys with no grown men around to teach them how to be a man.
Yeah, and not having a father around seemed like it did become the norm.
Hmm.
All right, well, let's get into your next blog. What is this one called?
Of a prayer for my daddy.
A prayer for my daddy. Okay, well, let's get an excerpt from it and you can elaborate on it.
This one, I based it off the fact that we have a lot of kids that are going through issues, and we just assume they're supposed to just understand what's going on around them. And so I wrote it from a child's perspective and her view and what the adult problem seems like in her world. And it starts off as, Mommy says you used to come see me, but I don't remember your face. I wish I remembered so it wouldn't make me feel sad. Did I cry too much when you came to see me? That's why you never came back? I'm sorry, Daddy, if you tried to hold me, but I didn't want to go to you. But I am a big girl now. I'm 5 years old, Daddy. I promise I won't cry now if you hug me again. I promise. I want to see you and see if you look like me. Was I not special to you too? I promise to not cry this time. I promise I won't make a sound unless you tell me to. We could play with my dolls and I will show you my favorite one. Her name is Michaela. You can come to school and have lunch with me, and I can let my friends see you so they can see that I have a daddy and stop teasing me.
Wow.
And that one I wrote because the little girl is praying, but instead of praying to God, she's praying to daddy and hope that daddy will hear her prayer.
Wow, that's powerful. Once again, it goes back to a lot of men not in the home. Sometimes that I know that has happened to me. I know I've told the story before where everybody was going for Christmas and going to see their parents and stuff like that, and somebody said, "Mario, you going to see your dad?" And somebody whipped out, Mario ain't got no dad. So so kids do tease, and kids can be awfully cruel. So I agree with you on that. All right, let's get into your next one. What is this entitled?
I forgave you a long time ago so I can live.
Wow, that's a powerful title.
Mhm.
I would imagine that has some emotional power behind it. All right, give us an excerpt and you can explain to me how you came up with that title and what was the motivating factor behind the blog.
Okay, I think this one requires an explanation before I read it. It was written and it's personally my story, and it's based on the fact of you being in a relationship for so long that you don't know what the other world feels like. And then all of a sudden you realize that it's changed. It's not what it was. And then you have to deal with the emotional pain that comes along with it. And this is just a journey of a woman that was in her pain and finally woke up. And it starts off like this. Can I get back all those wasted years, wasted on the facade you created and tricked me into believing was paradise? Can I get back my self-esteem that you dragged through the mud and left drying on your boots? What you tore down was my castle, and in return, I built a fortress to hide from the people you left behind, to torment me in my world, your friends, pain, heartache, and shame. I stopped living, just laying still in your blanket of pain. One day I looked over my wall and I saw you living, smiling and showing no shame. I realized that all this time I wasted just breathing enough to live. You were living. I wasted years living with you, but even more living without you. Yes, I am supposed to live. No, I cannot get back the time that has passed me by. When I stopped living, time became my best friend. He watched me cry while he silently stayed by my side, held my hand when I was scared to breathe, to be alone. He wiped my tears while I cleansed my heart and my soul. He rocked me to sleep when I was exhausted from hurting. Time healed me and told me to forgive you, not because I cared about you, but because you were draining me slowly and I needed to let you go. Time let the scars fade, but not go away. The desire to breathe and live was more appealing than the need to hate you. Time walked me out the fortress doors to sunny open fields. I breathed, tasting fresh air. I smiled without pain. I am living again because of my friend Time, changed but happy. I hear someone speak my name. I turn towards a voice that I recognize so well. I am sorry from the bottom of my heart for everything I have done to you and for all the pain I caused you. Please forgive me. I gave him 1 minute of my time and tears. So many years gone by before hearing this apology. It was closure, closure on both sides. I smiled at him with my wet, glossy eyes as Time quietly stood beside me, held my hand, and smiled. That same smile that consoled me while he embraced and rocked me to sleep on my journey to heal. I squeezed his hand gently and replied, apology accepted. I forgave you a long time ago so I could live.
Wow, that needs no questions to be asked by me. That was pretty much self-explanatory about the hurt and the pain and the healing process of someone who was obviously devastated and hurt by a person, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, wow. And that's why I'm saying, you guys, go to the blogs. Carlota is pouring her heart and soul and her life experiences into these blogs, and I think they're definitely worth reading. All right, let's get into number 5. What is the title of this blog?
Your empty chair, her journey.
Okay, so what is this about, and can you read the excerpt from it?
Okay. This is just about a woman that was hurt when she was young. And it's a picture of just a chair on a lake. And it's dark and dreary, but it represents that spot that went from happiness to pain, her journey throughout her whole life to the end, and her talking to her grandchild. It's like different episodes of her life, all about it take place in that one spot.
All right, well, with that being said, let's get right into it.
That chair, your chair, will not be empty for long until a good man comes along to take over and sit in it. You see, the person, the best person to sit there for now will be me. This is where I will come each morning to work on my pain, collect them in bundles and bury them in the dark waters beneath me. They're waters that will become clear and beautiful as soon as the sun rises and let the light in. I will be waiting here in my chair that is no longer yours, waiting for that sunlight to warm my skin and embrace me, bringing clarity, bringing strength. Sipping from my cup hot coffee so creamy and sweet, embracing and loving me more again as I bury the memories of you beneath my tired feet. Thank you. I never would have thought of sitting here when you were still around. Your absence from that empty chair made me sit and comfort in that chair, made me think, and while thinking, I gained clarity and strength. Now I appreciate what was always around me, and I appreciate me. That chair is no longer empty. It has created memories with me. When the good man came along, he joined me beside this chair. We sipped coffee together as love brewed in the air. Those moments sitting in that chair with Grandpa made it possible for you, my dear grandchild, to now sit here talking about my old chair with me. So you may see an old empty chair, but in Grandma's eyes, that chair was her journey.
Wow. That is deep on so many levels because it goes back to what one person sees as one thing. As they say, another man's trash is another person's treasure. As she sees it as an old chair,
Mm-hmm.
she see it as, her experience, her life journey,
Mm-hmm.
her memory. It was everything to her. It was way more than just an old chair.
Mm-hmm.
So that's wow. So what was the inspiration on that?
It was just a picture. Um, um, Somebody put a picture up on Facebook, and I thought it was unique to see a rocking chair on a pier, but everything was just so dark and dreary. And then I just pictured somebody sitting in it, and I created a whole story around that chair. And it went from happy moment with the man, and then the man leaving her. And then because she had to find herself, she started sitting in that same chair that that man used to sit in. And then it went from that to finding a new man, and he joined her at that spot. And then he grew old. She grew old, and then her granddaughter's looking at her like, why don't you throw it away? And she's explaining to her grandchild now that that was her journey. To her, it's an old chair, but to her, it's her journey.
Okay. All right. I definitely like this. And once again, guys, go read the blogs. You're seeing a personal example of how deep these blogs are and how worthy they are of being read. So, with that being said, let's get into one more before we wrap this up. What is this one called?
It's called The Good Man. And
All right. Let's be interested to hear what this is about.
it's just a story. I saw a picture, and I think it was in Italy, that picture. And I just picture, I like to go on vacation. So I just pictured that's the best spot to go with the good man. And when you're happy and you're with your soulmate, it doesn't matter if nothing's going on. It's just the fact that you're in each other's company and you're in love. And so I wrote a whole. I made it seem like they were sitting at the table having breakfast, and she was speaking from that spot without you really seeing her face. You just see the scenery, but she's talking to you.
Okay, well, let's get right into it.
This good man is just a regular man to the regular eye. He won't be a prince or a knight, but after all the shit you have been through and fake princes you have seen, this man in your eyes will be your good man. You will put in the time that he puts in for you. Treasure him, because these people are rare. You have seen all the empty barrels that have rolled your way. Take care of your good man so he will stay. Sometimes being dragged through bullshit is just to prepare you to appreciate clean. Don't forget that most likely your good man was once dragged through that same bullshit too. Two people appreciating clean, no better match than the both of you. Karma is a bitch and God is not blind. Patience is a powerful word. Respect it. You will curse it many times, but it is necessary because you are healing while preparing for change. When your good man comes, you will have no baggage, but he will see your scars. Don't give up, single ladies, and don't settle. Patience. If you already found him, I am happy for you. I still appreciate you coming here and reading this blog too. Now, excuse me while I go back to taking in the view with simple toast that never tasted as good as it do now. Tea that has never tasted so perfect and so sweet as it do now. I hear the birds. I feel the wind. It is quiet and peaceful. He doesn't say a word to me. He can see it in my eyes. We are happy. It's not the cars or the money or superficial shit that makes a man a good man. It is his love, compassion, empathy, ambition, loyalty, and a good heart and an appreciation of good because he has experienced the same bullshit you have been through. Now, let me get back to what appears as doing nothing, but to me and this good man, it is paradise.
And that is so true that if two people who can find each other, make a really good connection, who's kind of been through similar experiences, can really put all that aside and find each other and really make a connection and find good love, it'll be great. And like you said, to some people, it'll seem like nothing.
Mhm.
But to you and him, it's paradise.
Mhm.
So what brought this blog on?
After going through heartache and pain, to finally find in paradise, to finally find in the good man. You have to go through a journey because when you're young, you feel it has to be the guy with the degree, the sports car, the big house. And then you meet those people and you realize there's still something missing. It's still not a match. And then you realize that it's not the money, it's not the superficial stuff. It's the connection. You can't pinpoint exactly what it is, but you click like two puzzle pieces. And when you find that, that's when you finally find peace. That's when you finally experience what love truly is. And so you can enjoy each other without doing nothing.
Okay. Well, all these blogs have been great. It shows different sides of you, shows your flexibility in writing about various different subjects. And guys, if you're out there and you're listening, please go to the website, therandomselect.com, pick out one of the blogs, read them all, so you can get some insight to some other people's life experience. And, maybe it'll help you in help you in what's going on with your life. And sometimes, what you want to do is pass it on, share it, let somebody else see. It may not fit you, but it might just help somebody else. It might just make somebody else smile or make somebody else's day. And with that being said, I want to thank you guys for tuning in to this episode, for we to formally introduce you to Carlota and the blogs on the Random Selects website. You can find us everywhere where there's social media. We're everywhere. Facebook. We're on iTunes, Google Play, TuneIn Radio. So check us out. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel, and please come to the website. Subscribe to Carlota Blogs. That way, every time she put one up, you won't miss it. It'll come right to your email, and you'll know what is the latest and greatest and what's going on with her. Leave a comment. Let her know she's doing good, because no matter how much you write and how much you do something out of love, you still want to know that somebody appreciates it. So when you're signing up and subscribing, leave a comment. Just drop a little something to let her know. Keep up the good work. Or, I mean, it don't even have to be keep up the good work, but just let her know that you're out there and you're paying attention to it. And with that being said, we want to thank Carlota, and the Random Select is out.
You have been listening to Random Select. Thank you. Goodbye.